Yeah, I mean, we sort of looked at this movie first and foremost as a character portrait, but what drew us to Dick Cheney is he's a character who seemed to be in the middle of American history for the last 50 years. So very naturally, it led to where we're at now in American history.
The sort of pact was that I would try to advocate for Cheney and truly try to understand the reasonings that he had for his policies, etc. And with relation to people, now it's obviously clear he's been phenomenally pivotal for the last few decades in American and global situations and politics. But he's sort of, in many ways, even though he might have led to this series, he's entirely different from Trump in the way that Cheney was always terrible at retail politics and didn't like it at all, and Trump, it seems to be the only thing that he likes. And Cheney understood the power of silence, which Trump can't be accused of that. And enjoyed, knowing that the true power was in being in the shadows and working in that way.
I think one of the things we really tried to do was, look at the world around us, and the world around us right now tends to defy genre. It's both ludicrous and horrifying and obscene and occasionally moving. So we worked very hard, and I talked with Christian and Amy Adams and Sam Rockwell about the way we would play these scenes. They were always played real first and foremost, but within that reality, there were a lot of different genres. I guess when pinned into a corner, I always end up with tragedy, comedy tragedy, kind of by the end. But even that, we try and avoid.
Well, first off was just going, what, Adam, you want me to play Cheney? Because you don't really think, well, I hope you don't think Christian Bale Cheney. I'd be more disturbed if you did think that. So it's actually nice that people went, scratching their heads, that doesn't seem right. But I felt the same way. But I mean, kudos, look at the vision that this man had. But I didn't see it, but he saw it. And we just said, all right, give me a bit of time to do a bit of research and start doing some of the, gaining some of the weight and doing some of the prosthetics and whatnot, and just seeing if I could get into that. And then got handed on a silver platter, this incredible script, incredible character, director, crew, castmates, everything like that. And, he knew, just much like Cheney, the symbolism of the fishing. He was fishing and he knew I would get hooked to it. So but what also was nice, it's lovely to have a challenge, isn't it? And keeps you going in life. And it seemed almost impossible. So it felt like, right, I really want to give that a shot. And the tantalizing seduction of failing miserably at something as well, of going, oh, I really could bugger that up. So that let's do it in that case and see how we turn out. It's always that fine line of it really landing well or it just being bloody awful.
Mr. Bale has no comment on our relationship and would like that to officially be put out there. As far as when did I switch from, obviously, we started with movies like Anchorman and Step Brothers. Honestly, it was just, you don't let the world dictate what you do, but you do harmonize, you do react to the world. And the world got so insane at one point and so upside down. And with our comedies, we were always trying to kind of allude to what was going on in the world. And at a certain point, I was like, let's just say it nakedly.
And with Adam, as you see in the film, you get there, and he's intensely curious and smart, and you learn a great deal without feeling like you're learning. It's very bloody funny as well. He has everybody like in stitches as we're working. It's conducive to a really lovely environment and makes it real easy for turning up at 2 o'clock in the morning to do 4 hours of makeup and then have those long days. That his sets don't create any sort of sense of fatigue or, animosity. There's none of that. And then the beautiful thing about it as well, as I find with the film, is that through that there's this really unexpected but very deep poignancy and emotion that comes through with it. And I don't know if you guys felt that with the film. I was there every day, wasn't I? I played Cheney. But nevertheless, when I saw the film for the first time, I was so amazed at how moving it is. It's a genuinely sad and tragic piece as well, and very human. And I think he's quite brilliant at achieving that in an unexpected avenue. And that's my experience of working with him. He's quite good at what he does.
It was a nice comment, you see.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
That was better than no comment.
Exactly.
No comment was more intriguing, though, wasn't it? There was like a darkness behind it.
The thing that I kept on always asking myself was, well, do the demons come to him at nighttime? He claims not, but can that really be true? Can anybody truly, sleep well after having done, what he did, leading people into a grossly unethical war, and yet still be a good dad, right? So, but that was very much what we wanted to portray, is show that, monsters come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and some may be incredibly, he always had that very avuncular sort of a feel like you were in very good hands with him, and soothing, assuring voice and reassurance, etc. And that's far more a realistic way to approach him. But believe me, there's just endless questions that I would have for the gentleman after studying him, for such a long time. He's a conundrum.
How can someone love their family? How can someone, Dick Cheney cooks dinner for his family every night. He does the shopping. He's very funny. And I think we're kind of living in an age where that's the question. If you look at modern civilization, how can CEOs for oil companies go and do their job while destroying the planet actively, in the long run, maybe killing millions, if not billions of people. Yet I'm sure plenty of these oil CEOs, their grandkids would say, oh, what grandpappy's great, and yeah, so this idea of how do you live this seemingly normal life while atrocities surround your actions. And I think what we've learned is that, that small little center circle of family and backyard most people can do that. It's got to go bigger than that. But it was definitely what drew us to Dick Cheney and that question, that contradiction.